This is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
It contains
your typical Garden Warfare 2 lobby.
There's more.
No.
It contains
5 Chomper mains, 3 EP mains, and a corn that will husk hop at the sight of a literal fucking ant.
There's more.
No.
You're the only player on your team with a rank plate. Welcome to a video on how to get good at the Footsoldier, perhaps the most versatile motherfucker known to man. Players who are able to master this jack of all trades and master of consistency will be able to steamroll lobbies like it's business as usual. Let's get started. The Footsoldier is an assault class, designed as to be a jack of all trades, though he is actually far more powerful in the hands of a skilled player than what most would realize. He has the average health pool of 125 and moves at roughly the average movement speed, so overall, he fits right in the middle where he isn't particularly tanky but isn't too slow either. His primary weapon is your run-of-the-mill fully automatic assault rifle from every fucking shooter game ever, so most players will feel right at home when using him. The weapon fires at 550 rounds per minute and has 30 ammo per clip before needing to take a 2.25 second reload. Each shot fired can deal 8 damage for a normal hit and 9.6 for a critical hit, though the weapon does suffer a noticeable amount of drop-off, with it going down to 6 damage for a normal hit and 7.2 for a critical hit. The primary weapon is extremely versatile, not only being reliable at all distances, especially with tap firing and trigger discipline, but even melee hip firing with the weapon will still allow it to be fairly accurate at mid-range. This makes Soldier's primary fire adaptable to almost any kind of situation, and as such, allow the player to adapt their style on the fly for when the situation calls it, especially with the weapon's generous damage output at every range. One thing that is important is that the projectiles fired, whilst they may look like they travel instantly, they do not, and do have a bit of travel time, which does become apparent at extremely far distances. So if you're trying to kill enemies at long range, aim ahead of where they're going, and you'll be able to kill them just fine. The soldier's first ability is the Stink Cloud. This will cause the soldier to toss out a canister a fair distance away that upon contact with any surface will unleash a dark cloud that not only cannot be seen through, but smells like something some dipshit idiot TikTok user would cook, causing all plants within the Stink Cloud to take 2 damage every half second they stand inside of it. Once the cloud is activated, it will last for 15 seconds before disappearing. The cloud can be used for a multitude of scenarios, from forcing plants to reposition, to making certain objectives much more difficult to lock down, to even providing cover for yourself or teammates. Though there are 2 things you should keep in mind. One is that it obstructs vision for both enemies and teammates, so to use with caution. The other is that using either the Gnomish perspective or the Leprechaun hat will allow you to see right through it, so you can use it to hide yourself, whilst still being able to easily shoot at enemies with little issue. Once the canister is deployed, it will go on a 29-second cooldown. The soldier's second ability is the Rocket Jump, the world's most straightforward ability. Once activated, the player will be given a sudden force upwards, sending them high into the sky. This rocket jump can be used for a lot of scenarios, such as reaching high ground, avoiding fatal attacks, or to throw off the aim of your enemies mid-fight like you're some fucking spider monkey. Whilst fairly simple, this ability, much like everything in regards to Soldier's kit, can be adaptable to literally almost any situation, provided you're not forced into a room where the ceiling is licking your scalp. Once activated, the ability goes on a short 20-second cooldown, so you can use it fairly often. The soldier's third and final ability is the ZPG, also known as the Rocket of Go Fuck Yourself. When activated, the soldier will reenact his days back when he was sent to prison for 74 accounts of war crimes and pretend to drop some soap, only to unleash a massive rocket. The rocket initially travels rather slowly, but it gains speed over time the longer it's in flight. If the rocket makes a direct hit, then it will deal a massive 300 damage for a direct hit and up to 50 for the splash, in a fairly generous radius. This high damage output means that outside of the barbecue tree map, using a leaf shield or an iron citron and iron mode, the rocket will kill any target it hits, provides the game doesn't decide to flip you off and make a fake hit registration. This ability can be used against players for a high burst of damage, though because it takes a while to wind up and fire the damn thing, using it at close range is not advised unless you either know they're low or as a last resort. The best case scenario to use the ZPG is if you happen to not only spot a user who is in Gatling or Sunbeam and aren't properly paying attention to their surroundings like a fool, and because the rocket speeds up over time, if you catch one across the map, you can send that shit right over, and unless they happen to see you right as you fire it, you are almost guaranteed the kill. Once the rocket is fired, it will go on a 24-second cooldown, so be sure to save it for only if absolutely necessary. In terms of strengths, the Footsoldier is versatile and adaptable to almost every situation, with his primary fire being very powerful and accurate. His ability set also complements his style of play, with every part having multiple uses per scenario, from his stink cloud covering choke points or providing cover fire, to his rocket jump allowing for quick repositioning and throwing off enemies, to his ZPG being useful at eliminating key threats, as well as being used to secure kills against victims with low health. Whilst the soldier has few weaknesses, one of his most glaring flaws would be that he lacks any form of way to deal with multiple enemies simultaneously, so if multiple plants jump on him at the same time, he can be overwhelmed, and either forced to retreat or die trying to fight back. Thanks to this guide, you will now be the master of playing a class that can do anything and everything, and learn what it is truly like to be a Wolfie stan. Be sure to come back for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.